Hello, Ashraf. How are you?
Hi, Ruckus. I'm doing pretty great. What about you?
Good as well. The reason I invited you on is because I saw a win from you in the main campus. There are quite a few things involved there, so could you explain what that was about?
Yeah, so my win was basically about the 5,000, like 5,200, I guess, euros that I made last month on January. It's the totality of the side hustles that I started doing because of the real world. Mainly the copywriting agency, which I started because of Professor Arno and the stuff that he talks about the real world, on the real world, and the courses that helped me the most in the copywriting agency, like which made me win the most of the money in the copywriting agency are like the courses that talk about like finding clients, working with other companies to write their stuff for them. And then I found my niche, which is cinema. And right now we're working with actors and singers and people of that industry for the cooperating agency. That's briefly what that one is about. And then there is the app thing where I talked about in the win, which is basically an AI that we created in the Lausanne hackathon. That was in Switzerland. So we flew from Paris to Switzerland for to Lausanne for this hackathon where we presented our idea and then we created the app. I took care of the business side of this, and I basically implemented what Andrew Tate and Arno, etc., preached in the real world. I prepared all of the business plan. I cold emailed people the way I was taught in the real world, and I found clients pretty easily, especially compared to the other people in the competition, and that made us win. And we won 150,000 euros from the investors just for the app. So that wasn't like personal money that I can use. So that was for the company. I took out a bit of that money, and some of it appeared in the screenshot that I took. I guess I think there was like 2,000 euros of the 4,000 were from the sum that I took from the company. So the company just started and we already have 150,000 euros, which is amazing. And I hope we're gonna make it to a million euros by next year, by the end of this year. So that's basically the screenshot.
Very interesting. Quite a few things to go into there. To clarify, did you start that business after having joined the real world or before?
Okay, so for the copywriting business, it was literally the day I joined the real world. So my friends and I are all like business aspiring. Like we just aspire to start things, to do amazing stuff. We believe that we have the potential, like we always talk about it. We always try to start new things. Then at some point we're doing all of this without like literally gaining anything. It's like we're always losing. And then I said fuck it and I joined the real world. That was like the same night. So I joined the real world, I think it was like 10 a.m. And I spent the whole day just watching like all the courses, all the stuff being talked about in the real world, just, like filling my brain with all that information. And then at the same night, I was gonna go anyway to a bar with my friends just to just to have fun. And I told them that I joined the real world and what I learned, and somehow they were all excited to like try something. So we picked copywriting, and yeah, so that's basically how it started. We just picked it because it seemed the most interesting, and then we just started like hustling, just like rough, just going very rough into it and just like doing anything we can to amass as many clients as possible and start generating revenue as fast as possible, like using the techniques that I learned in dairy world. I have a friend that joined as well because of me, so that's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, the first agency copywriting started the same day, and then all of the other agencies, just started popping up because I have other agencies that I started aside from copywriting, They just started popping up after the very first one. So basically, the money that we made out of copywriting, that we're still making out of copywriting, we're starting other stuff with it, and we're obviously like taking our cuts out each time because it's kind of risky to just keep all the money and like keep building businesses because at some point one of them might fail and it could be like a domino effect or lose everything. So we keep like the money out. So yeah, the first agency started like that, and then I have to say that I'm somehow a little bit a crazy person. As in the ideas that that I have sometimes are quite dangerous. Like even though they make lots of money, and like people usually they just say no. I'm gonna elaborate a bit more. So yeah, so back in the day, especially before like joining the real world, I had like the technical expertise to do some stuff. I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know how to sell. I didn't know how to pitch the ideas. I didn't know how to talk with, investors and how to talk with, business savvy people, with like important people. I mean, there is like a whole section in the real world that's about talking with people that are like that have like high value in the real life, like high value people and the way to talk with them and how to connect with them, etc. How to like join their group or like try to get their money to support you on something, etc. And that helped me a lot, especially in the business that I'm starting right now. This business is basically a cybersecurity agency for the government. Not any government is going to be in Libya, out of all places. So we're starting an agency in Tripoli, and I have a meeting or I'm going to have a meeting with the minister of forgot the term in English again. Sorry. So whatever with one of the ministers in Tunisia to discuss this project. So that way I can meet the equivalent of that minister in Libya, in Tripoli, and kickstart this project. And I already had like meetings with like tech execs, like Libyan tech execs, CEOs in Libya. And I'm gonna go there to Tripoli for the first time. We're flying there from Paris to Tripoli next month to put all of this stuff together and like kickstart the agency. And literally all of the things like that I say during like the online meetings or like the way I talk to them via LinkedIn and how I introduce myself, it's all like coming out of the real world, which is like it's like a glitch or like a cheat code. Like I literally went to the dude and said, "Hey, you want to do this?" We've never talked. Like he's obviously someone that's very high placed in like in the government or like in the like business side of that country, and he literally answered in 5 minutes. Like I had the thing prepared that I took out of a video from the real world. It said literally the same thing. It just changed like some. Oh, sorry about the background. Well, I don't know what happened. Yeah, screw it. I literally said the same thing. I just changed the keywords so that they can match with the thing that I'm trying to say or the thing that I'm trying to do. And he answered right away, which was like already it was insane because this is someone that's obviously like not gonna answer anyone. And then we actually talked, and he was actually hyped about the project. And now we're gonna start it, and we're gonna get investments from the two governments, which is like I think, I mean, it is in fact the biggest like project of my entire life. And it started out of like an idea that I could took out from the real world video. So the real world is basically like a vast sea of opportunities, and some of them are untapped opportunities that you just have like to literally just take one, apply it, and somehow it like it will like open a whole ass door of other opportunities for you that you can take and keep generating money out of all of them. So just have three things that I might say that are super important to like as takeaways from the real world, from the campuses, from the network of people that are in there, are how to talk with people. That's one. Two, how to make them believe in like you or like in your project or in your business or whatever. That's two. And then three, how to build a very strong network that you can literally be. Okay, I'm gonna have to elaborate on the third one. Like, let's take Andrew Tate as an example. He's in prison right now, but literally all of his businesses, all of his stuff are still like operating. Like all of his business life has not been touched. And that's because of his network. That's because of the people he knows. So my third point is the network that you can make out of the real world or in another like place with the skills that you learned in the real world to like find the right people for you to like build this brotherhood, like build this network is one of the most important facets of business and like the most important thing that I learned from the real world because at this point, all of my like agencies that I run, all the stuff that I do, I'm not running them by myself. Like at this moment, we're doing this interview, we're talking, etc. I have like five things that are like five businesses that are operating, but I'm not the one operating them. I have my friends that are taking care of a lot of them. And then I have the people that I outsource my projects to. So that's like second point, how to make money out of the people. So I make money out of investors. I make money like, for example, someone puts money in my business, etc. And then I use that money to outsource to developers and editors and stuff like that. So that's for like the little part of the business. And then for like management, there's like my network, people that I know. So that's a big ass takeaway from the real world because most people think that you have to do everything by yourself and that you have to, to fucking like ruin your life just for this one business to work or whatever. But it actually isn't. Like one big thing as well that you learn from the real world is that it doesn't matter if the business fails because you're still here. You didn't die because the business didn't work, or like you didn't die because that person said no to your proposition, or like that client didn't like your work at first or something. So you just literally have to try and don't do the stupid idea of putting all of your money in one business. That's for sure. Like, something huge that Andrew Tate always says is keep taking the money out because you never know when you have to bail. So these are like my main takeaways, let's say.
To add to what you were saying with outsourcing, what you're taught is first you want to get that experience by doing it yourself, and then you can outsource.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And how different was your life before you joined the real world compared to how it is now?
Yeah, that there is a huge difference, even noticeable when someone watches it from the outside. So my life before the real world was basically just go to school, just attend the courses. I'm in an apprenticeship program, so I also work some days at a company as an engineer, like an apprentice engineer, just practice what I study at school. I get paid a bit from that. But that was basically it. Just go do my stuff, then like go back home, play some video games, maybe masturbate and sleep. So that was basically my life back in the day. But now it's like radically different. Now I spend literally every waking hour doing stuff that I never thought I'm gonna be able to do at some point. I mean, I was always ambitious, but there are like some things that you always say it's almost impossible to do at this age. Like like I'm 23 years old, and if I tell someone right now that I'm 23 years old, I'm gonna meet a bunch of ministers to start a company in a foreign land, they're not gonna even believe me. So these are like the types of things. I mean, not even a random foreign land. We're not talking about the USA. We're talking about Libya. So I mean, even when I talk about it, I laugh. So that's one of the opportunities actually that you can start spotting when you learn the right way of like seeing things. I mean, Andrew Tate once said, poor people think that there is no money in the world left, but like wealthy people or like people on the path of becoming wealthy see money everywhere, like literally every object or like every person or every situation, there is money to be made out of it. So yeah, I mean, like even the smallest things. So have this, for example, this empty like juice bottle. I can literally give this to like I can like take 50 of these. I can go to a company nearby that does recycling. I can sell this. I can make money out of this little shitty bottle I'm gonna throw away anyway. So there's like literally money everywhere, and you can start little if you want. Then you can like keep building up till shit happens.
Mhm. Right. And how different would you say the material has been for you in the real world compared to what you can find outside of it?
Okay, I'm gonna be super subjective because I freaking love the material in the real world. Because the material in the real world is super complex. Like you can find anything you want business-wise in the real world. There, I mean, already there are like campuses and stuff, copywriting, e-com, stocks, crypto, etc. But in every campus, there is like this huge amount of knowledge that is just in one little place that you can like watch whenever you want. You can literally, instead of watching fucking Netflix, you can go in there, like put it as a podcast if you want while you're driving or while you're working out. And the amount of knowledge that you can extract out of the videos, just the videos, is insane. I I'm a very curious person, so most of my YouTube history search is like stuff about business and stuff like that. Because I always like to look up things. And I'm gonna assure you that sometimes I watch an hour-long video on YouTube, and the information that I extract are minimal when you compare them to one little video in the real world, because there is a huge difference already between the person that is making the video or the person that wrote the article or whatever on Google, and the person that's running, the course in the real world. There is a difference between a millionaire that made all of his wealth out of the thing that he's teaching you in the real world, and there is a difference between the millionaire and the random like teenager teaching you how to drop ship on YouTube. It's literally not the same thing at all. So yeah, that would be my answer. It's uncomparable.
Mhm.
And on top of that, the real world isn't only courses, there are also the people. There is the network you can make out of the real world. There are like chats, there are people that talk. You can like talk with people, you can exchange knowledge, you can work together if you want. So there's also like the wins channel. Sometimes, sometimes when I don't feel like doing anything, I go on the wins channel just to boost my testosterone and go do my shit. So
Mhm. I'd like you to go a bit more in depth into that. What kind of an impact has the community had on you?
it's a huge impact. Um, both materialistically and emotionally slash spiritually slash mentally. Because sometimes I feel the wind and I start getting ideas. I'm like, why don't I do that as well? When people like explain what they did and they want, or why haven't I thought about that? Let's research this a bit more. Or sometimes I just take take whatever that person said and I try it out myself, see if it works, etc. So that's the material type. And then there is like the mental, side, like the mentality of the people in there, the types of things they're talking about. The, I mean, sometimes I read the chat and I just feel better. Like I know there are some people out there that are going through the same process as me. So first things first, I'm not alone in this anymore. And second thing is I have a whole last community that I can like, talk with, that they can, maybe we can solve our like business issues together. I mean, it's not even about business alone. There is like chats about, working out, chats about stuff like life problems, how to solve them, etc. So people are like super open-minded in there. I mean, don't talk about random ass shit, like just waste your time. It's mostly about, like building your wealth and building yourself. And these two of the things that I care about the most in life.
Mhm. What would you say was the biggest challenge you faced when you first started out on the copywriting campus?
Clients, finding clients, that was very hard. Because with just the knowledge, you're not gonna be able, to find the very first client. You have to practice hard. You have to practice hard and try everything. Because if you just like, when I say I take out, like extract the information from the video and then go right away and apply it, like when I did that with the minister, I did that in a much later stage. I already know what I'm gonna do. I already have the basics like laid down, and I know what I'm doing. But if I did the same thing at an early age, I wouldn't be able like to. to keep up with the conversation. I wouldn't be able to set up a meeting in real life to talk with the person, etc. So you have to practice a lot what you learn, and then when you start finding clientele, that's the moment where like the ball starts rolling.
Mhm. And now that you're on this trajectory, where do you see your life heading in 6 months to 1 year?
Oh, that's yeah, that depends on a lot of things.
Mhm.
If everything goes out well, if the projects don't get like ruined by something, or I mean, I believe I'm gonna make it, and I believe in the team that I work with. I believe in my projects. I believe in my businesses. I think that in the next year, I'm gonna be able to. I'm not gonna say I'm gonna become like a millionaire in the next year, because I don't know. It's super hard to say just like that, but maybe, yeah, why not? There is the probability that my team and I are gonna be able to start affording much more expensive stuff, let's say, by next year. Because in just like the span of 4 months, I went from a brokey college student to a guy running like six businesses and starting an agency in some random country. So in just 4 months. So I wonder, like in the next 6 to 12 months, what I would be able to do and what would I have learned, and the kind of people that I would be meeting from today till like the next year. So yeah.
Mhm. Very interesting. Uh, with all the value you get out of the real world and from what you've seen going on inside of it, why do you think that the real world is being attacked so much from the outside? There's been bans everywhere and other issues. So why do you think that is?
Okay, so yeah, that's a hard question, because there are like many parameters to this, many reasons. There is most and foremost the Andrew Tate person as a person. He has always been attacked because of the value he's providing to people and the kind of stuff that he talks about. He's been waking people up for the past 2 years or so. People have been learning the truth about many things, and I'm one of them. I, if it wasn't for Android, if it wasn't for the real world, I'd still be in the same place I was last year right now, just depressed doing my school stuff. Yeah. So I truly believe that the real world is attacked because of the value it gives, and because of the impact that the people that are running it have made, and the potential impact of the students in the real world. So that's a huge thing, and I think that all of the people in the real world right now have a huge potential to change the world like radically. Not just make money, but even use the knowledge that they have and use the money that they're gonna have to literally radically change everything. So giving that much power to just one person would make like the person super dangerous, let's say. So imagine giving it to thousands of people, at the same time. So I think that's why medias and like the deep state, let's say, are like super afraid of what the possibilities are out of this, out of the real world. Just like Andrew says, the Matrix is basically attacking us all the time. So we gotta live with it, and we gotta defend and attack back.
Mhm. Right. Were you there when the domains got shut down? Or did you join after? Were you there when the domains got shut down? Or did you join after? It's sad to see, especially when it was during Tate's arrest that happened. It really did seem orchestrated.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost obvious. Like, they just don't want us to exist. That's the point. There's, yeah. It's mostly geopolitical, honestly.
Mhm. And is there anything more you can say about what kind of an impact Tate has had on you as a person?
As a person, as in, like my personal like life, or
Just any kind of impact he's had on you.
Yeah, okay. So I used to be a very lazy person, even though I had like some stuff going on for me, but I always like I had two huge problems that I'm not ashamed to talk about anymore with my laziness and like, my forms of addictions that I have. I get like obsessed and addicted quite fast to almost everything.
Mm.
So hearing Tate talk, both of the brothers, even his brother has a lot of good things to say. It just makes you think, you know. I mean, at some point, I started working out and it's just listen to them just talking, like their live streams or the podcasts or whatever, like TikToks, and just motivates me to do lots of things. Even though Andrew always says motivation isn't the key, it's about dedication, it's about like other stuff. But the fact that you can get motivated out of that person alone, it gives you like lots of freaking energy that you can use to build yourself, to build your wealth, to build your family or whatever. It's insane. That man literally changed my life. I went, as I said earlier, I went from a college like brokey to someone that's running agencies, that's helping his friends, that's helping his family, and it's it's insane the impact that the man has on me. Like even now, I'm pretty sure he's gonna get out of prison soon. I'm pretty sure he's gonna do something at some point. But even now, even like right now, when he just sends emails, there is like nothing new on him. Like you don't see him anymore. His impact is still felt. Like even my friends and I we still talk about the things that he provokes. So like the topics that he always talks about. We still talk about Andrew Tate like literally every day. And other things that he made me realize about life, about the importance of sports, about like working out, having good body, martial arts, boxing. And I relate to Tate when it comes to boxing because I used to box competitively as well, and like just in the university context, I guess other universities. And he made me like go back to my former like masculine self, because at some point I got way too depressed that I didn't care about anything anymore, just living the way other people live. But he made me realize the potential that I have, and he ignited the fire inside me again. So that's generally what happened.
Mhm. And with all the value that's in the real world, why do you think they only charge $50 for it?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. It should be charged much more, honestly. I'm not saying charge us more right now, but it should have been much more than that. I mean, even like the day where I joined, I was like, fuck, it's like $50. Video games are like $70 now. Like crying about 50 euros. I don't understand that. Let's try. Why not? And yeah, I mean the value that's in the real world, it's almost you can't compare it like to a monetary value, honestly. There is like so much value that it shouldn't even even exist. Like forbidden knowledge at this point, or stuff that you learn aside. So I'm not gonna say anything else. Maybe I'm gonna convince you to put it at like 5,000 euros per month because I wouldn't want that to myself and to other people.
Enough. And before we end off, what advice would you have to people who are considering joining the real world?
Be consistent. Don't just join and just be happy that you joined. Just watch a couple of videos and go masturbate and sleep. Don't do that. Be consistent. Put some time in every day. Put like schedule at least an hour of your day, maybe before you sleep, maybe the moment you wake up. Watch a bunch of like the courses. Talk a bit with the people in there. Talking is important. You have to socialize with the people in there to learn more, you know, and practice. Practice a lot. Practice with what you have and practice with the things that you're able to do. I mean, if you're like under 18 years old, I'd advise you to start trying things that you can try without risking a lot. Like, because you wouldn't be risking a lot anyway when you're under 18. You're still under the protection of your parents. So there is drop shipping, there is copywriting. Copywriting, any person can do it, honestly. Just have to learn how to write, how to talk, and how to market yourself. Um, Yeah, so it actually also depends on your budget as well. So if you have a bit of money, you can do the Amazon stuff. If you're over 18 and you have like lots of money, why not stock crypto? You can start doing that like right away. And there is no limit actually to the campuses that you can join. So you can at like the first week, maybe you can start like trying out the courses. Which one do you think would go well with you? But then the moment you choose one campus, you really have to stick to it. Because otherwise, when you learn a lot, you'd be just dabbling inside many industries. And you wouldn't be able to do anything good with that. You wouldn't be able to make money if you don't focus on one thing, at least at first, on one thing. Try to maximize your skill on that one thing and go all for it.
Mhm. And for people who want to find out more about you or contact you, where can they do so?
Um, there is my LinkedIn and I have Instagram. Same name. Like my LinkedIn is like Ashraf Judai, my first name, my last name. And then my Instagram is like my first name dot my last name. Like Ashraf
Can
dot
you spell
Judai.
out?
So Ashraf is Achraf and Judai, which is my last name, is Jday.
Good. So, Achraf, really appreciate your time, and I look forward to doing a follow-up interview once you've scaled more and you have some more to tell us.
Thank you.